Hey, this is Classy Gents Productions with our first Classy Gents Roundtable. Introduced here is Zadius Prime.
Hi.
Private Buckles.
What up?
And myself, Time Ghost MD. Today's discussion topic, first topic, is discussing the first video games that we had encountered as youths and how that led us down like our personal video game timeline and how it influenced the next thing we'd be interested in games and so on and so forth. And we're each going to discuss this topic. We're going to start off with Zadius Prime. Take us off.
Okay. I started, let's see, I was probably about 1995. I think I was like 4 or 5 years old. For whatever reason, my father broke out of the closet the NES that we had and hooked it up to the black and white TV. Actually, he didn't even hook it up to a color one. I don't even know what it looked like in color for like a couple months. And I started playing Mario, Super Mario Bros. 3. There's a reason why that Mario game is one of my favorites.
That was on the NES?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
Well, I think they've remade it like 2 or 3 times.
I thought it was on the Super Nintendo for some reason.
No, I think that's World.
Oh, okay. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. What really did it for me was Zelda. My father had played that a lot when he was living on his own. And oddly enough, he never finished it. And I didn't finish it for the longest. No, he never finished it.
Oh, I would have thought he had.
Was he one of the ones that had like the notebooks with secrets written down?
Yeah, I used his notes when I played through it myself.
Cool.
And which is funny because he made it to the end of the game.
Really?
He made it to the end of the game. He
never
never finished it. No, he never finished it.
That was
not even like
with,
today? You never like go
no,
back?
he
and
never. Well, the cartridge doesn't work.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
The cartridge.
Because we
doesn't
tried to play a couple years ago.
Yeah, well, that's the closest that cartridge has gotten to work, but that third party haphazard of an NES that thing was, I still didn't work with it.
Fire.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he has an excuse of why I didn't beat it. The cartridge doesn't work now.
Oh yeah, now that's his excuse. I had actually gotten a copy of it for the Game Boy Advance because they did the remakes.
Oh yeah, they've done
down
that.
the road, and I had gotten a copy of that and I beat it in a week. So he got pretty pissed at me.
Well, I mean, you can always hand it over to him.
He wasn't interested at the time. He doesn't really play anything anymore.
Not Ape Escape.
Oh God, that was so funny.
That's another.
Yeah, no, that's another topic. That's another good one. But though, as we just discussed, the cartridge stopped working, so I didn't progress very far into that game. I think I beat the first level or 2, and that was about it. The one cartridge that we did have working though was Zelda 2, and quite a few people know how terrible that was. And for a 5-year-old trying to play that, good luck with that.
You played that when you were 5?
I played that when I was 5.
I played that when I was 20 and I wanted to cry. I can't even imagine 5. It must have been really
That's
frustrating.
like 10-year-old me trying to figure out Chain of Memories on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
It was button mashing.
Another good topic to come back to.
Stay tuned.
And I mean, I played a couple different things on the NES, and even the Rescue Rangers.
They had that?
Yeah, I think there was 2 different ones actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then you obviously played Duck Hunt at that point.
Oh, I freaking love that.
I assume.
Oh God, that was.
You know.
That bet was so funny.
You are a good Duck Hunt player. But I would say
unbeknownst to me, I apparently am really freaking good at Duck Hunt.
Putting money on it, you would.
Yeah.
I would bet against you.
But from there, my sister convinced my parents to get a PlayStation over an N64. And 5-year-old me didn't know any better at the time.
You really missed
out.
out.
I think what?
You really missed out.
My friend had one.
I mean, you had that weird controller. It was just multiple pegs.
Oh yeah.
It was interesting.
My friend had one. And I mean that's how I was exposed to the Ocarina of Time and GoldenEye and Banjo-Kazooie because he had that too. That's how I was exposed to that side of things. But with the PlayStation,
I mean, Spyro.
What-
You still had big hits.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember what was the first couple games that we had. My parents had bought this one Star Wars game. It was like, oh, Star Wars. Everybody likes Star Wars. The kids like Star Wars. Let's get a Star Wars game. Come to find out, it was a brawler, and it was terrible.
I didn't even know they had a Star Wars brawler.
Yeah,
What
like,
was it for?
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
What was it called?
Oh, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this is like 1997 or
Yeah,
8.
Did you get to play as Jar Jar? Did you get to play as anything cool?
It was before that.
Really?
That was 99.
Yeah,
Oh,
it wasn't even
yeah.
out.
Right. Were you like R2? Like, who would you fight it?
Well, there was like Luke and Han and Chewie, and that's about all I remember from
If
that.
you still have that, there are probably people that
No, my parents returned it
Really?
because it was bad.
hot garbage.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I gotta say though, like even for the crappy Star Wars games, I feel like there's still a collector market. For
Oh, probably.
If someone would have
there is.
paid $1 billion. $1.5 billion. Maybe.
But I think we went to go return it to the Toys R Us. My parents told me and my sister, "Hey, go pick something." She picked up. I want to say it was Tomb Raider.
Dinosaur too spooky every time.
Polygon Raiders.
And I picked up Toomba. I don't know if you know what Toomba is.
No, it sounds like Pumbaa, but I'm assuming it's nothing like it.
I didn't know any better at the time, but it's an extremely Japanese game. It has the whole cute thing with it, and it was a side scroller. I barely progressed in it because I didn't know how to figure out shit at the time. I was 5.
Was it a puzzler?
It kind of was. I mean, in a similar vein, even to Metroid, you find certain items and you talk to certain people and you get certain things and it unlocks this and it unlocks
JRPG
that.
type of thing, kind of.
Not even.
Okay.
It was a side scroller.
Oh right.
And the whole central theme was pigs and all kinds of weird magic.
So it was kind of like Pumbaa. That was a good guess. Pretty
I
good.
mean, I guess you could say that.
Point bubbles.
Hey.
And I mean, a couple months later, for whatever reason, my family was in Blockbuster when that was still a thing.
That's definitely like its whole era is like when Blockbuster was
We gotta
around,
talk
you
about
could,
that.
you
Oh,
could
yeah.
rent stuff. It was just like a demo.
Get to taste
but it
test
was
that
better,
shit.
Yeah.
You don't really have that now. I mean, you got GameFly.
Well,
but
and a lot of people
demos that you
don't
can
use
do.
GameFly.
Exactly.
At least in my experience, they don't. Though EA has that. Was
Do they have, like, a streaming service?
All access? EA All Access? Is that what it's called?
Is it like the PlayStation one where you can play like PS3 stuff and PS4?
No, it's a la carte.
Really?
Yeah, you can like play like I think it's like they add games to it, and even a game that was added a year ago, you could still play it on the service. But like say new like Mass Effect right now, I think is on it. You can play the first 10 hours of it if you want to.
Oh, I saw that. I thought that was just like people preloaded it and then.
No, you can actually play the first 10 hours. I mean, if you manage to finish it in 10 hours, good for you. 'Cause I think it only costs $5 a month or
Because I
something.
think PlayStation does something like that with their stream, or at least when
Probably.
it started, I think they did it by.
I don't know. I'm
game
not as familiar
hours.
with Sony services as I used to be, so
Or I think they did it by like week, like Blockbuster used to do. I don't remember.
it could be.
I only played Infamous on it, and that was fun.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the streaming service then.
Yeah, that's when that first started. I did that, and I think it's changed significantly since
Probably.
I touched it. That was like 3 years ago at this point. So.
But at Blockbuster, we, I mean, me, I see something that has monkeys on it, Tape Escape. I picked up that, and I want to say I almost finished it in the time that we
I
had
didn't
it.
realize you could finish that game. I thought it was just like mini games.
Oh no, there's many games in it, but no, there's more. There's a lot to it actually.
I've never played one, so
Really? Oh, you probably like it actually.
probably.
But yeah, I almost got through the whole game. We had to return it, so I was pretty bummed about that.
Wasn't that the worst too? When you'd rent
Yeah.
something for a week
What's the plot of Ape Escape?
and on the
Bunch of apes just escape.
No, that's another very Japanese game, and I didn't know that better at the time.
Is Super Monkey Ball the spiritual successor of Ape Escape since they're trapped in these balls and they need to
You
get
know,
out?
until this
No.
moment, I thought that was the same game.
I think the game started with Sony, because this was a little bit into the time of the PlayStation.
Seriously, like I honestly thought you were talking about like Super Monkey Ball.
No,
thought that was the
I
same
think Super
thing.
Monkey Ball was made by Namco.
Super Monkey Ball was a GameCube release.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
I can picture the box art in my head now, but when we were talking, I literally thought we were talking about Super Monkey Ball, and I was like, whatever, like that was fine to me. Neither of those games I've played, so my statement still stands correct.
Well, the premise of the game is this particular, if you want to call it a monkey, gets a hold of this one scientist's this weird helmet, and it gives him like genius
monkey abilities.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
Planet of the Apes stuff.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. And there was a whole theme park that was full of the monkeys, and so he gives all of them like lesser ones, but enough for them to function at a higher level. If you really want to get technical here with a kids game, and they all escape. Oh, no shit there. And somehow time was involved. I forget how the hell that played into it.
Time paradox.
And they get scattered all through time. And
well, they wanted to compete with Majora's Mask. And
I don't even think Majora's Mask was out yet.
Oh well,
I think that came out.
They were ahead of the game.
I think that came out in like 99 or 2000.
Really?
So you're going like place to place. They tell you, okay, you have to get 3 monkeys here, even though there's 5 or 6. And you catch them, and you have gadgets. Sometimes you don't have the gadget to get that particular one, so you have to come back and all of that. There's all kinds of puzzles. I mean, go figure on that one. That's probably why I liked it. I almost beat it. Had to return it, and then I ended up getting it for my birthday because my parents knew how much I liked it. So that's mainly where I started. Fairly straightforward. I mean, I played that game over and over to the point where I scratched the dicks and I can't even use it anymore. So,
I mean, I could see that, considering what you play now.
Yeah.
How that kind of like shaped what you like and what you enjoy. I mean, that makes a lot of sense in my opinion.
Yeah.
You like weird shit with puzzles.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
That is all you.
But I think that mainly sums it up, though. Though, like I mentioned earlier before starting this, Gex was involved. We had a demo disc that came with the system.
Do they even do those anymore?
Well, I don't think so. They don't need to.
I mean, they didn't do like a demo disc, but when Final Fantasy 15 came out, they released that with Take Zero, which is the only reason people bought that game.
Yeah,
was just to play that demo.
Yeah, and the demo disc.
That's why I bought the game.
I mean, the demo disc had Tomb Raider, had Crash Bandicoot.
Oh wow, you pulled like the best demo.
There is like probably like 10 or 15 demos on it. Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, Tomb Raider, Metal Gear Solid.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And what was the game rated that you got this demo disc? You could play Metal Gear Solid. I
think it just had the like NR to T or something. Like it was a range.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can do that.
Huh. Interesting.
So I think some of the recent collections that have come out on the modern consoles, some are E, some are T.
Fair enough.
So they just give it a range.
Yeah, just rates E to T.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my last bit there. So.
That's it. That's your timeline.
Yeah, no, that's
pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I covered a wide range. I'm kind of in that same spectrum of time, I believe, just based off some notes and some research I did, which was 5 seconds of Google looking up when stuff came out. But I definitely have my parents had a NES too. They actually got it as a wedding gift.
That's really? Sick.
And which was interesting. They got married in like.
I wouldn't have figured that knowing your parents.
86, mid 80s somewhere. I don't know. I would assume that's in that time range, and they had it, but I can't remember if they had it or my neighbors also had it, and I can't remember if we had it in our house or if it was at just my neighbor's house. But I remember my dad telling me when he would like come home from landscaping, because that's what he did after he got married, that he would like play Mario all the time, which is weird because my dad's like stubborn old man. I don't picture him playing Mario too often. He was like, yeah, like me and like old wrestling friends would come over, and like former like co-workers would come and they'd like play it, and I was like, okay, that's kind of neat. But I remember having Mario, which I think everyone owned for that system, I remember Duck Hunt, which was a big one, which I sucked at.
I think Mario and Duck Hunt came out in the same cartridge.
No, there are separate cartridges. You can get it on separate ones, but I think at some point they put it in a combined one.
Okay.
I think the separate ones actually go for a lot of money.
I can imagine. And I remember there was like a Simpsons game, which was, I think it was like a brawler. It was like an arcade style game. It was interesting. It was fun. It was. They also had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, which was basically that same game with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was fun. I really enjoyed that, and that game was interesting because with games that I really like story, but then I also like mindless bullshit.
Oh, yes.
And the NES was perfect for mindless bullshit.
Oh yeah, you can't make it terribly complicated on that.
Because there's not much storage you could do. It's like Mario, you jump over stuff, you don't get hit, and then you don't find the princess in the first 7 castles.
It's like you can program, you can only program so much text to appear in the game. The rest is just going to be like actions and functions.
Yeah, well, and that's why a lot of the story is limited to the manual.
Yes.
Mm. But even there, it was just like really cool to me. Like think that I played a game, and I still enjoy games like that. Where typically now at this point, I like need a story driven because I need to be entertained for the 30 hours I'm going to play. But I can still pick up Mario and be fine for a couple hours, which is interesting to me that game's how old now at this point.
Yeah, Mario
like
Run came
30,
out. Mario Run came out on Android today.
Yeah,
I think.
30-something-year-old game, and it's still fun.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we never had Zelda. I don't think that's not a game my dad would play. That is too much nerd for him, I believe, and I don't think 5-year-old me could play that. I don't think 23-year-old me could play the first one, but maybe one day we'll see. But another early memory, probably around the same time that I was playing this, is when the Game Boy came out in like Game Boy Color and Pokemon, which is like a big thing for people our age, I would say.
Yep.
Because I remember people playing that on the bus, and that was like huge, like trading. Like when we went to New York for Music Man or whatever.
Oh my God!
Everyone was trading. They had that like 2-inch the connector cord.
Yeah, I still have mine. I still have the Game Boy Color one.
The light with the spiral that got really hot.
Couldn't you trade using the weird little...
you can use Mystery Gift.
The IR emitter?
Mystery Gift.
Is that what it was?
That's trading an item, but no, you need the cable to
they
trade.
Actually trade. Oh.
Yeah, Pokemon are too big through that little
too much files.
Dust thing. Whatever it is. But that was interesting because I can't remember if I watched the show first and then I got the game, or the game and the show, but I just remember getting Pokemon Blue, and that was nuts. Like, that game was crazy. It was super cool, and I remember being really confused when I played it, because when you watch the show, like, Ash would beat Brock, and then Brock would join him, and then Ash would beat Misty, and Misty
then when you play the game...
And you play him, it's like, peace out, Brock, and he doesn't show up, and I was very upset, and I kept restarting because... I felt like the game cheated me.
Or if you choose Charmander, Brock just kicks the shit out of you.
Yeah, Charmander is like, there's no difficulty in Pokemon, but there's difficulty in Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because if you pick Charmander, you are fucked for that. Like,
unless you
first half of that game.
Unless you only use Charmander. Unless you
Which, I mean, when you're 5, that's all you use.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't understand catching other stuff. That's why I could never beat that game, because once you got to the Elite Four, it was just like, well, I got Charizard, who's like level 60, and then nothing else.
Ducks, Slayer of Trees.
If he dies, like it's game over. And then I remember getting the original Game Boy like as a hand-me-down, and then the first one was the Game Boy Color, but it was that Pikachu one. When that gold came out. It was cool. I still have it, except I'm missing the battery cover.
Oh, yeah.
So it's lame. And I still have Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Blue. Still have both the cartridges, but I don't have the heart to like actually try and play them because I know for a fact that they are broken.
Oh, probably.
No, I can fix them.
You can fix them?
Yeah, didn't you fix one?
I fixed my old Crystal version. I have the special security screwdriver. I can open it and replace the battery.
Oh, I definitely have the screwdriver.
Oh, wow. I thought like once the battery...
It's like a hex bit.
Interesting.
I got that
well, maybe
kit, so.
I'll see if that actually works, because that's
the only thing is I just need to break a soldering, which is like a delicate process in one case, and then if I just electrical thing, it should be good to go.
Interesting. Well, we learn something new every day. I thought that game was a goner. I mean, I just assumed it didn't work.
Well,
I
a lot
didn't
of
want
people
my heart
assume
broken.
stuff.
You used to be able to get them for like $2 before everyone figured out how to just open them up and replace the thingy. You just gotta buy a special battery.
Oh, that's fine. I know
It's just a watch battery, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like they all have specific numbers on them. But anywho.
I don't remember too many other games for the Game Boy, or the Game Boy Color. There was Seamus, which is a really shitty game. Because I remember going to BJ's as a kid, which is a big wholesale store.
Yeah, it's like Costco.
It's like Costco.
For New England.
For New England, yeah. So anyway, I remember that they had these like games and like packages that you get for like super cheap, and I'd always look at those.
It's like 5 games for $10. Good
Yeah,
deal,
and they
type
have
of
this
thing.
game called Seamus, which was really shitty.
What was it about?
It was just like you were this robot cowboy guy. Like the box art for it was sick.
Well, that's probably what sold it.
It's 100% what sold it. It came in this gray cartridge. I still have this. I've lost like so many Game Boy Advance, so many Game Boy Color games, so many Game Boy games just straight up. The ones that I still own are
The best and the worst.
Kirby Dream Land, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Gold, and fucking Seamus. And I think that's it.
Now you have Chain.
Oh, now I have Rechain and Game Boy Advance. I think I have like a Sonic game. Like I kept like the shittiest ones I could possibly keep for no reason. I knew someday it would be useful.
Even I have a fair amount of shitty game, color games. I think we're right upstairs. I have it in my closet.
I was the frugal kid that always sold things back and bought what I wanted.
Nah,
Type of thing.
even at a young age, I learned very quickly not to do that.
Eh.
Yeah, it happens. It's another discussion for
Oh,
another
yeah.
day. But anyway, Seamus was just you're this robot cowboy, and you'd start off in like just gray blocks, and you were just a stick man, and you wouldn't even walk. You would just like kind of float,
Yeah.
and you would shoot in different directions, and you would go into these different rooms. Nothing was explained. If you read the packet, it was explained. But 5-year-old me was sure as shit not reading that packet, but kind of wish I had the packet so I could understand what was going on. And you'd kind of like float around these rooms, doors would be locked, you'd have to find keys, stuff would reappear every time you come back in the room. But the kicker was this like ghost thing would come out of nowhere, and he could like go through walls, and just he was 10 times faster than you. It was like Ski Free if you ever played that game. The abominable snowman just comes and gets you every single time.
Gonna get you.
It was just like that, and once he got you, it was game over.
Yep.
So I don't know what that ghost job was, but he was very good at it,
Yeah.
and it made me very frustrated. But I went back to that game a lot. So
I recently
Quite
heard
know.
there was a button to make you ski faster.
really,
So you can get away from it.
Oh, that's sick.
well, that's
They
interesting
never tell you
because
what. They never told you what it is.
the that snowman used to scare me a lot. Like he was very freaky. He was like the perfectly oval egg shape with some bullshit drawn arms and this just really pissed off face that would just like haunt me all the time. It was weird. But moving on from the Game Boy, what came after that was the 64, which is better than your PS1 garbage.
Yeah.
And I remember getting that for Christmas in late 90s, I'm assuming. Don't remember the year. Sorry. I remember opening Pokemon Stadium first before the actual 64. And I was pissed. Because I was like, I don't own a 64. And dumbass me didn't make the connection that, oh, there's a 64 under the Christmas tree right now.
I did that with my Game Boy Advance.
Right? Like, weren't you so mad? Like, this is useless to me. I can't do
Yeah.
anything.
No, I know that feeling.
But that was cool. I mean, Pokemon Stadium was always fun. I think I had Pokemon Snap. I had the Pikachu version. That was like a theme. I had to have like that special weird fucking version of a Nintendo thing I got.
Yeah.
So that came with like, hey you Pikachu. And I remember my dad swearing at it all the time. It would make me
I
laugh.
can see that.
Yeah, he would just be like, hey, let me see that controller. Hey Pikachu, or whatever the 30-year-old man would call Pikachu. He probably mispronounced it.
Get the fuck over here.
Yeah, he's like, he just called him a bastard all the time. And he explained like what a bastard meant, and he was like, oh, it's a fatherless child, and it was just like, I'm like 7, Dad. Like, can we please not have this discussion right now? But this is what happened. And then we really got into Mario Kart for that one. That was a big thing. We played that. He got really competitive all the time.
I can't see your dad being competitive.
Oh, he is. Oh, Zoo Tycoon is a completely different story.
Oh God!
I remember hearing
I remember that.
So anyway, there was lots of computer games that were really shitty at this time, but Zoo Tycoon was like the greatest game of all time. And me and my dad would play, and he really liked it because he liked making fake money, apparently, more than he liked making real money. So we set up and we would like experiment with stuff because this was before you could Google how to do shit. You just kind of
swing away.
Yeah, you just kind of did shit and it either worked or it didn't, and you found your own best strategy. I don't even know if this is a thing, but we would spend time and like going over being like, oh yeah, if you change the color of the hut, like you would attract more people. Don't know if that's true. In my mind, it's true, and I hope it still is. If either you could back me up on that, I'd love that.
We could throw this into like that playground legend territory of games.
Yeah,
type of thing.
It definitely is, and
like the Wild West.
We would like build different things and like try different like terrains and see if like you put them in different places it would make more money. And this motherfucker, he was on like a school night, and I just wanted to play. And I was like, he's like, oh yeah. It was like 6 o'clock. He's like, yeah, give me like 10 more minutes. And that motherfucker was on a game until 2 o'clock in the morning. I never got to play. He made $3 million in a 90s game. Do you know how much $3 million in a 90s game is? It's like $10 billion in a game. And he never played again because he said, I beat it. I'm the best. I'm the best. I don't need to ever touch that game again. That was like his thing with games. Like once he beat it and he like already proved himself, he was done. And I'm like, that's not quite how games work. You can go back to them.
How close is he to a perfect game in PGA Tour?
Close.
Wait, really?
Not like perfect, but he's got like scores in like the 40s.
Jeez.
Which is nuts.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyway, he stopped playing, and I remember going on his file and just releasing all his animals. Pissed. He never knew because he never played again. And I would like waited. I'm like, come on, just play again so you can see that your fucking zoo went to hell. It never happened.
It's like Nabi.
But that's pretty much my experience. It's just my dad being a douche.
One thing I forgot about. I mean, we had a computer in my house. I mean, it was a Gateway. You had to
Big cow box.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you get the little
you had to type Win to start Windows.
Oh, so you learned how to use a real computer.
Yes.
Boy computer.
And my mom got a game. It was selling like crazy in the mid 90s because she was curious.
Cubert?
No.
Can I take a guess? Is it The Sims?
No.
Oh wow! And I have no idea.
The Sims was, I think, it was on 98 or Emmy or 2000. That was a little later.
Is it Solitaire?
It's not 3D.
Oh, what could it be? It's a mystery. I really don't know.
I don't know.
It was Myst.
Oh, this whole bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Myst wasn't 3D.
No, it was.
I've never looked at it.
It was all pre-rendered 3D images that you click through.
That's cool.
How did you feel like once they were able to put that on like a mobile? Did it like blow your mind?
Oh, the fact that they mobile.
Well, just the fact that was like a 10-year jump, and they just like did it. Like technology went that far in 10 years, roughly. I mean, not that it was a big game.
In 2005, it was, or I think even before that, everything was completely 3D at that point. It wasn't like single spots where you stopped and manipulated whatever you were doing. But I mean, everything got better. I mean, 3D rendering in the mid 90s was pretty terrible by even the year 2000's standards. So just going that far was leaps and bounds better because even the sequel is significantly better in terms of visuals compared to the first. But no, me and my father played that a lot together. But we would work on things together. Even with a guide, it was still hard to comprehend at the time.
They had guides for that? Like you had to buy like a book at like a bookstore?
Prima,
like the Brady Games type things.
Guide, yeah.
Oh, wow.
We got
I miss those times. Like you see them now in stores and it's like, you can Google that shit.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You'd either buy it because it looked cool or...
Oh, if it's got that nice like old book aesthetic.
Yeah, like I have the what is it? Twilight Princess one.
Yeah.
Big book, but just because it looks cool.
Yeah. I got the New Vegas one.
Yeah, it's just like if there's a poster in it, it's like worth the $15 or whatever a guide is. I don't know how much they are. I'm assuming it's around there. Probably wrong.
They've been giving away the PDFs lately, which is really weird.
It's kind of weird.
But anyway, besides that sidetrack, What about you?
Oh, right.
What about you, Time Ghost MD?
So for me, it was like a different introduction for me. Like, my parents, when I was younger, they never had any consoles. Like, they never had NES or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even have like Atari or anything when they were growing up. And it was, for a while, my parents were pretty much like, no, we're not buying you a console for you to sit in front of it. You go outside and go entertain yourself type of thing. And that was a mindset they carried for a while. And my first real exposure to video games was the arcade.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go to, it's like 3-4-year-old me, would go to the arcade in town with my dad. And I would, like, I'd play skee-ball or something like that. But then I'd watch him play, like, Time Crisis. Or I'd watch him play Rampage. Or sometimes I'd watch him play House of the Dead, which is really weird for a kid like me to watch. I was just like, whoa, what's that? And he's just like, go over there. this is rated something else.
Go cheat at skee balls.
Yeah, go walk up that rail. And then as I got to like a couple years older, it's like I'd play the Jurassic Park game with him, or
that's the one where you like sit in like the Jeep, right?
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was really cool.
But,
I never knew what happened after, like, there was like one on the field where you had to like dodge all the dinosaurs.
Oh, I remember the Jurassic Park.
Could not
It
get
was
past that part.
such a cool
I
game.
think they played that in Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, that's where I played it too.
But the arcade games that really got to me that I thought were really cool, I got really good at, is we would play this one game called Ocean Hunter.
Mm.
And it was basically 7 different levels, and it's just like a rail shooter, but it's like a co-op one, so you're both in this rail shooter, and you got these like turret type things, and you're shooting at like sharks as they're coming at you underwater, and like barracuda, and every level had like a boss, and you have to shoot like certain areas. Everything's moving, and it was really cool. And like we never beat it because it ate quarters. Like, you died a lot.
Oh, man.
But
That was the mindset at the time.
yeah, exactly. But it was really good at it. But the one arcade game that was just God to me was that old Star Wars trilogy arcade game where you're just like in an X-wing or shooting, or you're in like the snow speeder and stuff like that, or you're on Endor going through the forest. And I was like, it's just so great. I remember being 5 years old. That was like the one game I would go to the arcade to play, and my dad would just like stand next to me. And I could go through like the entire game on just like a couple bucks. And I remember killing everything. I killed Boba Fett, fight Darth Vader and strike him down. There'd be like these teenagers hovering over me. They're like, dude, this kid just killed Vader. And it's like one of those type of deals. It was just like all these older kids would swarm around. There'd be like a couple dudes just looming over. It's like, wow, this kid's really good. He just blew up Death Star. It was just interesting. It was just really interesting to me. And then my real experiences with like console games was when like one of my buddies got N64, and I saw Mario 64, and I was like, must have been like 5 years old or around there too,
Probably, yeah.
Around the same time. And I saw Mario 64 for the first time. I was like, you can have this in your house, and it doesn't eat quarters. This is great.
It still eats
a lot of
It eats quarters.
Just a bit more upfront.
Yeah. It's a different payment plan. But playing that, and it's just like I wanted to go to his house all the time to play, and I was just horrible at it. And it was just like every time, it's like he'd be like, all right, when I die you can play, and when you die I get to play. So he'd play for like 20 minutes and then beat a stage. He's like, I didn't die yet. So you go do it, and then he's like, all right, your turn, run up, die. He's like, oh, my turn. Type of thing. And we go through that type of thing. And then when I was like second grade, that's when my parents finally broke down. They got me a Game Boy Color, and that was just, it's like I got Pokemon Silver with it, and I just played that thing to death. I played it into the ground, and it was, I don't know how to describe it. It was just one of those things. It's like I took it everywhere. It was always like in my pocket. It was like
It was very useful. Good for car trips.
Especially.
It was a very portable console.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Exactly.
Yes.
We're gonna have this discussion too. What makes a console portable? I remember another thing I thought was interesting was when it was like that same year. It's like I got Lyme disease when I was just in like second grade or something, and
I remember
we didn't.
that, yeah.
It was like a year or two later is when we got the GameCube, but we didn't have any consoles yet. So my dad, this was back when there was Blockbuster, and my dad felt bad. He's like this 10-year-old kid or what, however old, not 10,
Probably like
8,
6 or 7, 8, somewhere in that range.
7, 8, yeah. This kid has Lyme disease and his summer sucks. I'm gonna go rent him an N64, and he rented like Banjo-Kazooie, Rogue Squadron, Pokemon Stadium, and he comes home. He's like, "Look what I got," and I was like, "Oh my god!" And that was just another one of those moments. It was like, I like this. This is good stuff. Ugh. And I got to die and then play after I died.
Yeah, that's always good. I mean, only child life. If you die, it's going to stop you from playing again.
Yep. Yeah, but then after that, like third grade or so, that was when I finally got GameCube. And I remember I was the first person within the friend group to get GameCube. And I got Luigi's Mansion and I got Rogue Squadron 2, and then the first game that I ever went out and bought with my own money was Pikmin. I saw a commercial on TV. I was like, this game looks sick. There's like little plant guys running around. You got spaceships. You got goofy monsters. Yeah, I want to do this. It's like, went out.
And then it became time management, the game.
Oh my god. Well, first off,
life lessons you weren't expecting.
In truth though, that was the first large expenditure I ever did. Because it was the first thing I've ever really paid like a lot of money for. My mom's like, $50. You really want this? I was like, yes.
Doesn't $50 sound like pretty good right now? Like
Yeah,
in terms
right.
of price point for games.
Yes. Now it's like $60 if you want the base version,
And then, like,
$100
$80
if you want all the content.
Do you want the game and the season pass?
It's like, yeah,
Would you like the
not
guide
really.
with that? I have the internet. It's like the would you like fries with that?
Do you want insurance with your game? No.
Oh, I hate that question.
That's so stupid.
It's like, what do you think I'm gonna do with this thing?
That's what they asked when I
Yeah,
picked up
shove
my
it down my
Switch a couple
pants.
weeks ago. It's like, do you want insurance for your copy of Zelda? I'm like, no. Why would I want that?
Because 20...
Nobody's gonna eat it.
No, but 30 years down the road, the cartridge won't work anymore. It can't be the last one.
It'll still taste like shit though.
Yep, the cartridge is still gonna taste like shit. Yeah.
That repellent is not coming off.
Nope.
No matter how many times you lick it.
But yeah, it's like... It segued me into the GameCube, and GameCube is just... That is my favorite console for multiple reasons I will divulge into later.
I would agree with that.
It's got a carry.
I definitely like my GameCube.
It's the party cube.
My PlayStation.
Yeah. But that's what I got on that topic. Do you want to continue your timeline bit now?
Me? Nah. No, I don't have
Let's
too much
pause
more
for
to
a second.
say.
I got pissed anyway. Hey, we're back with Classy Gents Roundtable, and this next topic we're going to cover is game news, what's hot, what's topical, things we're excited for, or things we want to play next. Zadius, you want to go?
Let's see. Upcoming releases that I'm looking forward to are... I'm probably going to pick up the season pass for Final Fantasy 15 to hold me off for a week for Persona 5 to come out. I know next to nothing. Well, I know a little bit about the DLC and what it entails, but...
You know who you fight?
You mentioned it.
Do you care to know who you fight?
No.
Okay. I won't mention it then.
No.
It's a classic villain that...
Niflheim launches nukes?
Not quite. You'll be happy
No, it can't be.
if you've played more than like 2 Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
You'll recognize the
Yeah.
name, the face, the man, the myth, the legend that is entered villain name here. It's cool. It's gonna be cool. They changed the interface, like or not the interface, but like the display menus because it's a different character. You're not Noctis.
Oh,
So,
Roxas?
like your health, yeah. So your health is different, and your command buttons are different. So it's.
alright.
I saw a bit of it at the big Final Fantasy event because they were announcing stuff for 14, so I watched a bit, and then they were like, "Hey, here's 15." And I'm like, "Not what I signed up for, but I guess I'll watch."
But yeah, and like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to Persona 5 finally coming out. So I'm definitely gonna play that.
How long has it been in between?
Oh man, when did Golden come out?
Well, even before that, because that was a remake.
Oh, it was still Persona 4 at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when did 4 come out? Must have been like
2008.
Jesus Christ.
It came out for the PS2.
Wow.
Yeah.
They completely they didn't technically completely skip the PS3 because Persona 5 is coming to it, but
Well, they announced that a long time ago, and then it just never happened.
Yeah.
And then it was supposed to, and then not really, and then the long progression of delays. And, yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, because it was like a year and a half after 3 came out that they made 4. They wasted like no time at all, and then it just kind of like fell off the face of the planet. I don't know why they did that. Well, I don't know. They were working on the other Megami Tensei games that I'm not familiar with at all.
Well, you got Persona Q.
Yeah, there's Persona Q. There's like what is it?
Dancing All Night.
Oh, God.
And then the fighting games. Yo, Dancing All Night. That's not a laughing matter. That's a good game. Would recommend.
I still need to try Ultimix. Persona 4 Arena Ultimix. What else? Etrian Odyssey. That was like their original bread and butter. When that Shin Megami stuff started. Yeah, I'm not very familiar with the rest of their games because a lot of them are very obscure. Unless you're actually familiar with the series at all. But I'm only very well versed in the Personas, and even then I'm not in nearly as deep as some people are.
Not a big...
Gotta live that JRPG life.
Yeah, you're not a big Trauma Center guy?
I played it. But I didn't get into it.
I really liked it because I like medicine, and then I remember hearing about that game and being like, oh yeah, like covers like being like a surgeon and all that. I didn't realize it would be like robots and
it goes very quickly off the deep end.
It does, and I was like, oh, I'm doing open heart surgery, and this nanobot shows up, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It's very confused. I had a lot of fun.
Is that Awesome series parody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think? Okay.
That's what it was about.
It was on the Wii. It was cool. Like, you got to move shit. I remember liking the intro, the first couple levels of that game, because it was, like, actual, like, surgeries. I mean, they probably weren't, but they weren't, like, some bullshit where you had to, like, defuse a bomb or something.
Well, they made it I think it started on the DS first.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, a lot of people complained that they were getting, like, back pain because the game told you to, like, put it down on a table. You're sitting over it, like, with your head right above it. So it wasn't like the most comfortable way of playing it.
I remember one in the Wii version was really hard for me because you had a guy with a broken arm and you had to like replace his bones. But for some reason, I didn't have the concept that you could rotate your wrist and it would rotate the pieces. And I'm like, this shit don't fit. What bones are these? Like, they ain't no bones I ever seen. I was very confused by it. But eventually, I think like I figured that out, like way too late. At that time.
I think I only played bits and pieces of the Nintendo DS one. A friend of mine from a ways back had the one for the Wii, but
I think I still have it.
I never really got into it. Mostly because I think the fact that it went off the deep end, I'm just like, well, what is this?
Anything else you're looking forward
No,
to?
that's the only thing on my radar right now.
No big Kingdom Hearts PS4.
No, I'm not kidding.
Big reveal.
Kingdom Hearts commitment issues 3.569 420 over dang.
I'm looking forward to it because I did not have a PS2 and I did not own a PS3, so I didn't get that HD.
Well, technically you have a PS2. It's just not yours.
Oh yeah, technically it is at my house. But I ordered it, so I'm looking forward to that until obviously Persona 5 because all on that hype train. 2 aboard the hype train. 1 person does not give a shit about that series.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's just a massive time sink.
Yeah, so that will be like I got 2 time sinks in the next 2 weeks in Kingdom Hearts with those 6 games.
And hell, I'm not even done with Zelda yet. So.
And
you're getting all the
no, I am
ones?
not getting all those
Please?
goddamn seeds. Oh, God, that's one of the dumbest things.
I think it's genius.
You gotta do some completionist though. You live for that completionist.
I'm not completioning that completionist that game.
Well, what do you still want to do in that game?
I get all the heart. Like
Oh yeah, that's your version of the completion.
Yeah, I at least want to finish the shrines.
Did you ever find that last? You ever go and get that last heart container in Wind Waker you always need?
Yeah, I was over your house when I did it.
I can't remember. I can't remember everything.
Yeah, no, I managed to get all of them in Wind Waker. Yeah, mainly because I figured out
because the guide was
the
wrong.
guide was screwed up. It had a freaking typo in it.
That's so funny, dude.
That's the reason why I never did it when I was young.
Before the internet.
Yep.
Although at that time you probably could have looked it up. But it would be on that weird like
GameSpot,
the
GameFAQs,
threads where people would type in all the zeros
cheatcodes.com,
and it would do the logo.
Yep.
I hated that shit. I thought that was the biggest scam ever. I was very confused. It was hard to navigate. Still hard to navigate to me.
Well, yeah,
Don't like it.
you had to know how to use like the Control F and the bookmarks that they set up throughout it.
Yeah, it was annoying. I'm a big no thank you to that. Any news for you?
Oh yeah. So I'm excited for the Dark Souls 3 DLC on March 28th, and that is hopefully going to tie up a lot of spots in the lore and interesting. I don't know how to put it. It's mostly lore stuff and backstory, and we're wondering where certain prominent individuals within the lore may or may appear in this DLC. Looking at the previews I've seen of it, I'm very excited. It's like I'm gonna shit bucket that fucking thing when that comes out. If I'm not working, or else the entire weekend after that is gonna be dedicated to just like, that the masochism that I so enjoy out of that franchise. Ukulele coming out eventually. I'm excited for that, even though I'm the only one at this table that didn't pre-order.
Kickstart it. Yeah, you didn't kickstart
I didn't
it.
kickstart it, and I'm the only one that's probably gonna play it when it comes out because you guys are gonna be playing your.
Yeah, you can tell if us our names are in the credits.
Yeah, you can look for it. They should be somewhere.
Yeah, it should be.
So that's exciting because I've always been a Banjo-Kazooie fan, and I wish that a certain company would let Banjo-Kazooie free. That way we can get a nice HD remake on a 3DS of some sort. Maybe that'd be pretty hot, don't you feel?
That would be cool.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that worked out pretty well.
Apparently, the story to Ukulele is making fun of
Oh yeah, it's
said company
entirely,
that we all know.
Yeah.
It is. I read it and I thought it was a joke, and then Grant Kirkhope tweeted it, and I was like, guess it's not a joke. he hashtag confirmed that for me.
Technically,
You spelled wanker wrong.
Spell wanker wrong.
Wasn't Nuts and Bolts technically supposed to have that mindset?
It did, but they failed at it.
Yeah.
I played the demo of Nuts and Bolts back when demos were a thing. Not really. But yeah, I played the demo of Nuts and Bolts. It was an interesting concept. It was just not a good game in my mind.
It was bad. It wasn't a very good game in a lot of people's minds.
Yeah. But I have not looked at anything for Ukulele besides like the trailer that's on Steam.
I don't think there's much out for it.
No. And I'm fine with it that way. I know it's going to be the spiritual successor, and I'm happy with everything that has to offer. Very excited for that. Games that I also have on my wish list is I'm going to pick up Alien Isolation.
It's fun.
Because you've been talking about that, and I've seen it, and it's like, oh yeah, I enjoy shitting myself on an irregular basis too.
It's fun. I will say the Alien loses its scary value as you progress.
Yeah.
But it still gets you every now and then.
Yep. Because I thought it was cool. I thought it was super cool.
Yeah.
I want to get Little King's Story. After looking at that, there was a phase of me that was like, I don't want to get this. And now it's like, it's a Pikmin, like, spiritual successor or clone type of thing. It's like, oh yeah, it's cool. And I looked at it further. It's Pikmin, and it's also, it's almost like Pikmin and Harvest Moon. Because you're managing, like, farm type things in a town.
Probably why it's called King.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then I actually want to pick up once I finish the Dark Souls DLC coming out, I want to get Demon Souls and go back to the origin of the masochism.
You just really hate yourself.
I do. I beat Super Meat Boy. There you go.
Yeah, that's a feat on itself.
Oh my god, you were there.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm all aware.
And then, do you want to talk about what we're gonna play next before next?
Yeah, like
podcast?
what we play this weekend, kind of thing.
Play this week.
Oh,
We can discuss
This
opening
week
next
in
time.
ZP's library.
yeah, I'm trying to think.
That's Zadius
Oh, no,
Prime for folks at home.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to play more Pit People. I think I got an update this past week. And for ones who don't know, that's that continuation of Battle Block Theater and the absurdity that game has in it. But yeah, I think they actually finally added another story piece because it's in early access.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that's not.
I thought it was released.
Nope. It's in early access. That should be pretty good because thus far it's been really freaking funny.
Good. I think I have my Vita, which is this dead console or dead handheld.
It's
that
dead in
no one uses.
America, that's
Yes,
for damn sure.
It's dead, but it's great for JRPGs like Final Fantasy to play on the go. So I keep that by my pillow, and then I try to progress through Final Fantasy VII, which I can't get past that fucking demon wall to save the life of me. But not quite at that part, so maybe I'll be smart and prepare this time other than the other two times.
Save outside the whole
Hopefully
chapter,
it'll work.
whatever you want.
And then Stick of Truth. That'll be good. That was
Oh, God,
a
you
Steam sale for like
You're just
It's-
gonna, once you get the ball
yeah.
rolling and figure out how to do it and you figure out the battle system,
You're not gonna stop.
you're not gonna stop, and then you're gonna be at a point, it's like, how far am I? It's like, oh, you got like 2 hours left. It's like, oh. It's so
I really
good.
I played like half an hour. I got past like where Cartman's like, yo, go out and go find everyone. And I was just walking around, and then there's just like elves all over the place. Oh, I opened the door. I was not expecting this. I was exploring South Park.
Random houses have random shit inside? Yeah.
Yeah, and one was just like a naked mom. It was just like, what the fuck is going on? I literally yelled at it. Like, am I computer?
There's plenty of that.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the shit? I was not expecting it. It was cool. So I'm looking forward to more of that.
I showed you that whole.
Oh, I'm aware of the
Oh yeah,
scene.
that fight is so entertaining. It's just in the background, you just hear, yeah.
Oh, I also think it's funny that I picked like the jersey tan as like my skin tone, and your parents have it too. And I just think it's
Wait, serious?
They have like this really orange tan to them.
Oh, that's so awesome! I didn't
And I
know
was just
that.
like, wow, was not expecting that. It was cool. I like also how you don't talk. You just like people talk at you.
You're mute.
Yeah, it was cool. There's a lot of little things I've liked.
Oh yeah, no, there's plenty of that. That game is very well done. I just hope the next one comes out as good because I know it's not the same group.
It's not?
No, it's not.
Oh, that blows.
Ubisoft went with a different branch to make it, so hopefully they didn't manage to pick.
Well, I mean, you still got the creators of South Park, so.
Oh yeah, well. Yeah, I think they're still.
But I think because I remember seeing like a trailer or / interview, whatever it was for it, and they're like, yeah, we feel bad that people felt like they didn't get their money's worth because it was so short, so we want to make sure it's long enough. And they're also like, we have a lot of content we want to put into it.
Hopefully, that's not filler, but we'll find out.
Yeah, hopefully not. It is. I will say it would be hard for them to make a complete game that's probably that funny throughout.
You'd be surprised.
Without. Okay. I haven't beat this one, so I really don't know.
Yeah, no.
So it's hard for me to say, but just from like an outside
They
standpoint.
definitely transferred their humor to a video game medium very well.
Alright. Well, hopefully this time next week I can confirm that for you.
Yeah.
And then for me, I'm going to play Batman Arkham City because I have a backlog of like a billion games that I've never gotten to since 2010. And I've worked through a lot of indie games in the last couple months, and then I shit bucket Dark Souls for a while, and then I knock out a couple things, and then I don't know. I always have side projects and stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be Batman, and I also want to go back to Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon because that's another game from several years back that I did not finish for various reasons, and I just like to start something over if I don't finish it or forget.
I hear you because like you forget like what's going on.
And it's just a good game.
Welcome to like any Final Fantasy I don't play for a year.
Except when you gotta live that wood armor life.
Yeah, well I finally got past that, and then I got to another bullshit part.
Yep.
So come back 2 years to that one.
Yep. I think that's it for me. So yeah, that was Classy Gents Roundtable, and we will see you next week.